Yeah, I think for me, coming to the project, it never ceases to amaze me the cleverness of the design that we've selected and the work the design team have done. There's so many competing requirements, so many logistical problems in how areas relate to each other in this. And for me, how some of the solutions have been integrated into design in a way that, like I say, unless I told you about them, you wouldn't even pick them up at all. I'm Neil Bradley, I'm the Director of the Permanent Premises Project for the ICC. I report directly to the Assembly of State Parties and I'm solely responsible for the outcome of the project. Albeit it's a very high security building, a lot of the security features are designed in a way that it doesn't obstruct the view of the building or the feeling that this is quite an inviting building, or you could happily turn up and watch a court case, and this without there being too many barriers to your entry. Yeah, and the other important thing, albeit the site was the site of a former military barracks, and to be honest, it was a very nice architecturally done barracks, but again we are also mindful of not leaving any remnants of its military past, effectively speaking, because again that's not the, we have some very vulnerable people that come to the court. Partners in the project are obviously, firstly the host state. Obviously the host state of the Netherlands have been responsible for doing the demolition project on the site for us. They're represented by Jan Sanders. And Jan has worked with us quite closely in making sure that the demolition was done to schedule, and that the legal aspects of transferring the land to us, etc. have been resolved. On our behalf, we appointed the project management company Brink Group, and Peter Timmermans and his team really represent our interests and manage the project on a day-to-day basis on our behalf. They joined the project around 2009 and have really been responsible for making sure we keep to schedule and progress going through. Yeah, the tender process is a very critical part of that. We shaped that quite deliberately, and we pre-selected 4 contractors that we felt had the sort of the right sort of mindset or the ethos we were looking for at the outset of that process, and then we worked with them over a period of times, and during that we had collaborative meetings with all 4 tenderers.
Well, when you look at the tender procedure, the biggest challenge was we work in an international environment, which is not very common to general contractors to work for. They do it once in a while, but not that often. With international law applied to it, with a very sophisticated client organization, with very demanding features in it. And in the end, the Visser and Smith Boele van Eester combination, also known by the name of Cortis, is now our general contractor and on board since the 1st of October.
Visser and Smith have made a great start to that. They've already established a front office now with a design team where they work completely in the same room. So that collaboration is really starting to take shape now as the project team really sort of get to know each other and just like that, act as a team of people all with the same objectives. The design, when we set the design competition up, the design was, we were looking for something that reflected our sort of views of transparency and that there was an openness to the building itself to try to get across the ethos behind the court, which is obviously that we should be transparently being seen to enact justice. And I think that's really one of the underlying ethoses of the project team as new members have joined, is we've really looked for people to merge into that way of working.
I'm the product manager of Cortis. Cortis is a combination of Visser Smith Boele and Boele van Eester. Both are Dutch contractors, and I'm responsible for the engineering and construction of the ICC Permanent Premises project. I have to lead to manage the complete design team during the engineering phase, and during the construction phase I will manage the construction team. I'm end responsible for time, costs, but also for safety, healthy, and a good environment for all the workers who will be here at the construction site. We have the brain group who's doing the project management in this project. We work together with. There is the consultancy, the architects, Smit Hammer Lasse, Royal Haskoning for the structure and building services design. We have also subcontractors, our partners, we call them, and that are Homa Imtech for the building services and Scheldebouw for the facade. But also we have some contact with the municipality of The Hague, with the neighborhood, and we're working together there in some general meetings about what we are going to do here.
Even the residents' associations that we have regular meetings with, trying to get the residents' input into the design process, and really, you know, hopefully we've been able to then respond to concerns they have, and that's helped to shape the landscaping design and the actual, some of the physical layouts of the landscape have certainly been adjusted to try to preserve trees and other aspects of the neighbourhood that were distinctly important to local residents.
Here will be the main entrance to the court tower, and all visitors can go into here to the court. So we go inside.
And visit the court, come and see a court case and this, and albeit there are levels of security as there would be, say, at an airport, it's done in an inviting way and it's not obtrusive, or it has a different connotation. So it's very difficult, and I think it's been really interesting to try to get a design of a building that's quite usable and perceivable, but in a much more of a worldwide context rather than necessarily a Western European context. And I think our design team's done a fantastic job of trying to get that ethos built into the architecture of the building.